On an average day, if you see more than 5 people, you probably don't live in a country. So in an average day, I see at least 20 people. That's double. Actually triple 5, but actually quadruple 5, because 4 times 5 is 20. And if you see that many people in one day, you can bet that a statistic on planet Earth is that there's more females than males. So out of those 20 people, it's no surprise if you see at least 8 females. And in 8 separate times, there's been 2 females in the car that have made me go pattywonkus. And if you've never thought that Mark Twain can be described with a syllable being the deepest language of Southern speak, and they publish it, I don't know, probably because there's only like 3 colleges back then, Stanford, Harvard, and Oxford, in the entire world, and so publishers weren't important. So they allowed Mark Twain to copyright, and that means publish, because they're one and the same. If you can't do one, it's not the other. You need 2 degrees of freedom in order to write books and have them be legendary, known across the nation. One published, and one make sure that it's copyright. And so Mark Twain, that had both of them, actually is legendary because he got to publish words that only had 1 syllable, but were the deepest, I would call it slang of the South America. And when I say America, it's not North and South, it's North America in books. And so in order to equate that to what I think is superlative, which would be games and then scenery. In my dreams, I've had scenery, 4 of them I'm going to note, and have Mark Twain just kind of be in a quirky way intertwined in them. One was a futuristic scene, and it had a spaceship flying through it, and there was docks, and on each dock it was like Halo, and I've gone through that in my dream, I think on the spaceship, but then also a scene of it on the docks. It was also equivalent to another scene, aside from animals, that had snakes and spiders everywhere. Indoors were spiders, outside were snakes. And the snakes outside had gates, and you were jumping through people's backyards. So at any point in time, you go past, I don't know, not 20 people, but 30 different yards. Imagine having a dream where there are snakes everywhere, and you have to go through 20 of their backyards with fences. That's what my dream was like with snakes, more than 5 times. This was my dream like with spiders. Whenever I went through one door, it was all cobwebbed up, and about 5 spiders poked their head out that were the size of my head, ready to eat me alive. And I was indoors trying to get out, and I could not get through these rooms, which there were about, I don't know, as many rooms as it took for me to wake up, and because I couldn't get outside of the house. And I had one dream that combined the outside gates of what was snakes, and the inside house, which is spiders, which were bears. And they were, once I got to the deck going to outside from my house, I wasn't looking inside the house. It was no spider webs in this dream. It was just me getting to the outside exit of the house, equivalent to what parking lots are with the exit. And there were bears coming in through the forest, because outside was a forest from my yard, and it was in Vermont. And I saw up to 7 bears coming out trying to get inside the house, so I was not going outside the house, which would have connected where the snakes were. And the second part was, that was just one of the dreams. Another one was Aladdin. But other than Aladdin, was this kind of different type of scenario where it was Star Wars, and I was inside the building, as opposed to Halo being on the deck and places like that. The other parts of my dreams I want to contribute to games. 1's hot potato, 2 is patty cake, and 3 is duck duck goose. And if you never want to sketch out, don't listen to police sirens and a dog bark above this area. Because once I had a guy ask me what I was doing right here, and I was leaving. the most powerful introduction to something the soul is. So if you see something at the Olympics and someone's spazzing out, that's equivalent to someone spazzing out in HE double hockey sticks. And that guy had a video online from InfoWars multiple times. So what I'm going to draw is an atom, and it's outside because it's equal to an immaterial object. Any inanimate object you can't blame because it isn't actually conscious, so it sounds stupid you saying it's equivalent to a caveman getting mad at a rock because it's the same exact inanimate object as a computer. So if you get smashed by one or the other, it doesn't matter if it's in binary, you have to serve it some way. What I'm about to draw is an atom, and it's equivalent to your brain and your spine because it can never be split in half. It can be built on by a CRISPR gene editing system that's like a 3D printer for molecules that atoms can be dialed up in. And this is why Democritus, I think one of the Latin guys, he said that the atom can never be split, and it was controversial because they say nowadays you can with the nuke, and that's obviously correct. But that's besides the point. He was saying that you can never split an atom correctly in half perfectly because you can't tell the outside electron orbitals are too arbitrary. So this is what I just drew behind me without even looking is an specific like atom arrangement, and you can make gene editing CRISPR molecules into immaterial objects like a computer or a rock.